And I want you to really feel comfortable of stopping me and asking a question if you want, or writing me a question on chat. I don't want it to be too mental, because also this course is actually about learning how to be a facilitator of transformative journeys, which do not happen only in the mental realm. So I am going to share with words what we're going to go through, but I want you also to keep it active. So if you have something alive or a question or something you want to add, just feel free. Yeah? Good? Okay. So this journey that we're going to go through actually is a very, very deep journey. I don't think we ever journeyed before for a year, even the people here that already journey with me for a while. I just finished a 1-year journey like this here in Israel. And one of the reasons I'm so excited is because for me, it's really difficult to finish this 1-year journey. Like I feel very connected to these beings that journey together with me. And I see that we have actually, let's say, 6 routes or 6 paths that we go through. The first one is our own transformative journey. In some way, you're going to meet yourself. And you're going to meet yourself because you're going to meet and be with a group of very talented individuals. And you're going to journey with them for a long time. And energetically, it's actually a year that you're going to hold together with this group of people. And you're going to see different aspects of yourself. Some of them you would like, some of them you would like less. Some of them will be loops and patterns that you have. Some of them will be superpowers and channels of your light. And the whole point will be to see how you allow the transformation to happen. So the first path is actually your own evolution. And this is the first path of this course. The second one is connected to different tools. So, you know, when I speak about different tools, there are so many tools that you can use when you hold a space or when you facilitate a workshop. I can, you know, there is about 20 tools that we're going to learn in this course. I can give you an example for one of them. So let's say I would want to track body language, yeah? So even now when I look at you, to all of you, and I see where you're putting your hands, where you're looking, what's happening with you, your body language is telling me something. And the more you sharp this pencil, the more you know to read what's really going on with the person you're seeing. And then another tool that comes together with tracking, for example, is called a contact statement. So contact statement, it will be something like, Monica, you're stretching. And this is like, you're bringing a contact statement and you're touching a place. For example, when Monica, I said it to you now, for a moment, you just felt that I see you, right? So the point of contact statement is how to cross the story into the storyteller. And actually, as a space holder, you always want to be with the storyteller. You don't care about the stories. The whole point is actually about how you're going to penetrate the story and reach the storyteller. It doesn't matter if it's in a private session, in a workshop, or with your beloved. This is where you want to be. So we're going to go actually through 20 different tools. I wrote some of the tools here, but I don't want to have such a long mental discussion. So this is another path. The path is of the different tools that we're going to learn, experience, and embody. One of the magical things in this course is that I'm going to ask you to use these tools in your day-to-day life. With your daughters, with your sons, with your beloveds, with your community. I'm going to ask you to use the tools and come back and give feedback about what did you discover with the tools. Yeah, we can continue? Okay. The third one, we're going to reach a new understanding of how the human soul operates and all the different aspects of the soul, and also about human relationships. And we're going to learn what are the relationships, for example, in a group. So there are phases in groups. I'm not going to go through everything now, but let's say the first phase is exactly like a child. It's a phase of feeling safe and feeling that you belong. And this is the first phase in an evolution of every group that you're going to journey with. And the second phase is about shine and actually be the unique spark. And this is a bit similar to the age of a child that starts to rebel because they want that their will and their power will be felt in the space. And the third stage of the group is a bit more like when you become an adult, well, some adults actually, and you manage to find a flow. And in this flow, you have the unique spark and you already feel that you belong, so you don't have to prove anything. You can just flow with the group. And the last stage is the stage of ending, which is a very challenging state for the human soul, about how we can end in an harmonious way that allows the emotional body to get the space that it needs without getting lost. So this is just an example of many things that we're going to go through that are connected to the way that the human soul is and the way that relationships work in groups and in couples and with yourself, with your own parts, which is actually also like a group. The fourth one is connected to your specific patterns. So you have patterns that maybe some of them you know, and maybe some of them you don't know. And these patterns are going to block you from giving all your light. And it doesn't matter where. You want to give a session now. If you still have these patterns, this will block you. And the way that you discover it is because you're going to receive dark feedback when you come and offer something. And with this feedback, there will be things that repeats themselves. So for example, if 4 people out of the 25 will tell you that they can't hear your voice, there is something in your throat and the way that you express yourself that you have to attend, because this blocks you, because some people can't really get your transmission. And this is one example, but there are different reflections, of course. Some of the reflections can be, for example, in this course, I had one guy that was super sweet and nice and with a big heart, but the way that he talked made people edgy. So the nervous system got edgy. They couldn't chill and relax. And this is something that he had to attend and address and transform so people can actually surrender and go deeper with him. So this is another path, the path of meeting your patterns and what you need to change and transform in order to shine more. The fifth one, is about what is your superpowers? What is the magical gift that you have? And I'm going to give you an example. We had a woman that got a lot of reflections from in bullets about what her superpower, and it was warmth, it was compassion, it was a mother figure, all of this feeling like a womb. Now, there is one thing that she has it naturally, but it's another level when she knows when she wants to use it and when she doesn't want to use it. And when you start having this superpower as a sergeant tool that you know when you want to use it and when you don't want to use it, it gives you a lot of flexibility to move and then you can actually use your superpower in the right timing. It's not just a frequency, it's a frequency that you know when you want to send this frequency, when you want to open it and when you want to close it. Is this clear? Yeah? Okay, let's take a breath. I will take a breath. The sixth one, and this is the last one, it's about being an integral part of a community, of a very powerful community of facilitators. And this is actually one of the gifts that I did not receive. When I started this facilitation path 10 years ago, it was a very lonely path in the first 4 years for me. And after 4 years, I realized that I don't want this shit. You know, I don't want to hold the space on my own, and I don't want to be on my own while I have a lot of participants that project on me, but we do not really meet in a place that we can be together. And this brought me a lot of humbleness. This brought me into understanding that I want community life. This brought me into understanding that I want to teach with other facilitators. This is also one of the reasons I went to ISTA, that we teach 3 together, which is a beautiful way also to learn about your ego and about your personality, and another path of humbleness. And in general, I can tell you that humbleness is one of the topics we will touch. I cannot see any facilitator that will be valuable if he's not humble enough. And so the last topic is about a community of facilitator. How do I share power with others? How do I create together? And I'm telling you, this is pure magic, because in this year, there is already 3 groups of people that started to facilitate workshops, that they have participants and they sell these workshops and they do it together because of the different mixtures and blends that happened in this year. And walking this path together is amazing. Just imagine that you have a workshop and you write in a WhatsApp group that you need an exercise for vulnerability, and the community sends you 6 different exercises of vulnerability. It's like, it's difficult to grasp, but it's like a very powerful togetherness that, that comes into this world. And this is something that I didn't know when I started this course. But after I saw what is happening in this course, I realized that this is one of the big gifts. So you have any questions about this before I continue? No? Okay. Okay. So I'm going to go through the things that we're going to learn together or experience together. And I want you to tell me, what do you want me to double click on? You know what I mean when I say a double click? Double click means, like in the internet, that you double click and then something opens. So it's like you will tell me what you want me to elaborate on, what interests you, what you don't understand, and you want to know more. Yeah? Okay. So the first one, and this is like the base of everything, is love in presence. Love in presence means the 2 wings. One, the wing of dwelling in the now, of presence that we know, and the other is how I dwell in the heart of compassion. And this is the second one. And love in presence has to have both. It's not enough just to be present. You actually need to have the loving part, so you don't fall into judgments. So you can actually really see the beauty in someone, even if they cannot see the beauty in themselves at that moment. Second one is active listening, which means how do I join a flow, or how do I join a current, not a flow, a current. How do I join a current that I see in the workshops room? So for example, I can come and then somebody will start doing some movements. And when is the right moment that instead of teaching what I wanted to teach, I need to stop everything and just do the movement with him. And then another person will do his movement. And then something will happen in the space that will create a group flow. And when is the time that we want to do that, and when is the time that we don't want to do it. And this is something that we're going to go into. The third one is creating a safe space, which of course allows deeper transformation. Tracking methods, which is I talked about in the beginning, how we can track body language to really know what is happening. Because somebody can be with you like this, you know, and they will say, oh, I feel so expanded. I feel super open. Yeah, my life is great. And, you know, his body is telling you actually where he is and not where he tells you. And you will discover this in the workshop room, that many people are not going to share with you what is really their experience. And some of them, and this is about humbleness, I discovered this, that some of them actually don't know. They feel contracted, but they don't even know that they feel contracted. And when you point it out with the right context statement, they can suddenly see, okay, wow, there is a contraction in me. Yes, thank you for pointing out, or thank you for seeing me. Or don't see me, this is too much for me. But you're suddenly with them and not with the story that they share. Yeah, to continue?
I wanted to ask, what was the third one just before this tracking?
The third one was creating a safe space.
Okay. Okay, cool. Continue.
Okay. You know, the creating of safe space, this is just one sentence, but it's quite a big topic about different ways of how I'm going to create a safe space. The next one is called contact statement. Contact statement is an art. The reason that it's an art, it's because, for example, I'm going to, let's try something now. So I can say, Anna, you're focusing. Anna?
I'm here.
You're focusing.
No.
Great. So what happened to you when I said it?
I came back.
You came back, but what else happened to you? You blushed. Yeah?
Yes, I blushed.
And
it's hot.
But
no,
the
okay,
point,
I blushed.
but the point is of context statement. It's about how immediately you can connect with someone, and it's him and you. There is no more story. The story is, if you know people that have dramatic personalities, we're going to also touch different personality types in this course. If you know people that have dramatic personalities, their medicine is contact statement. This is actually what you need to do with them. You know what I mean when I say dramatic personality? Okay, some people, because of a childhood, usually between ages of 4 and 7, they needed to get more attention from their parents. They didn't know how to do it. So they started to develop very dramatic gestures. So they can come to a room and say, oh, you know, and you see this in workshops. Yeah, you see it in workshops, the people that come and they are more silent, and you see the people that come and, oh, I feel like a lion, you know, and many times these kind of big expressions, the deepest missing experience is they want to be seen, but you cannot see their story. And because they create such a big story, they cannot be seen. So actually, if you know that this is a dramatic personality, you don't touch the story at all. You immediately say something with a context statement about them. And then it's finally what they really wanted to. Of course, they cannot deal with it, and then you start a new journey. But this is the essence. And a context statement is not a question that takes somebody to the mind, and we don't want to take people to their minds. They have enough mind. And it's not something that is a fact that make people contract. it's between. This is why it's an art. This is a context statement. Another way to call it is an empathic guess. This is another way you can call it. Like what I said to Anna, I said, Anna, you're focusing. I'm not telling her, Anna, you are focusing. I'm not determining anything. And I'm not asking her, Anna, are you focusing? It's an art in the middle, and this is something that you need to practice, and then it becomes part of your life. And then it's beautiful because you do it to your kids, and your kids feels that you see them, and it's amazing. Okay, let's move on. I stayed a bit long on this.
I wanted to ask you, when you mean focusing, focusing, you meant like focusing on like monitor looking at something else, or focusing on you, or what?
So the point in context statement, it's not important. It's not important if you are right or wrong. It's not important what you say. It's just about touching the storyteller. For example, Patrick, you're a bit tired.
Muted. A bit, yes.
Okay. How does it feel when I say this to you, and then?
At beginning, it feels a bit like intrusive. I feel like my nervous system gets a little bit more tensed, like of being addressed so directly. But in the end, it's also like I also feel connected now, more alive. Yeah.
So thank you for being a part of the example. Hello, Katarina and Didi. Welcome to join us. So, Kachenka, you know what I mean? So it doesn't matter what you say. It's just about saying it relatively in a delicate way, and then immediately the person feels seen, and then you are with them. There is no more story. There is nothing. There is you and them in the present moment with what is alive. Okay, a breath. All of these things, by the way, are in the first phase of the course. This is like the basic structure. Didi, it's good to see you.
Hello.
The next one is called Experiential Wisdom. This is a bit challenging to explain. So let's say you are listening to a space, yeah? You see a space with many participants. You listen deeply to the space. And then from this listening, you understand that you need to explore something. Let's say you see projection. You see a lot of projections in the field happening. She project on him, he project on her. You see a lot of projections. And then with this salad of projections, you know that you need to work on this. This is alive in your field. So experiential wisdom means that I'm going to create an experience. I'm going to create a structure. Oh, great. And I'm going to create a structure that will allow them to experience their projections. So you understand what I mean? It's like I'm going to create a structure to allow them to get the wisdom that they can get. It's not even about me teaching them so much. It's like it's like I will tell all of you, okay, let's do it for half a minute. So maybe so I'm going to do like this. We're going to do an experiment. Are you ready? If you're ready, raise your hand like this. Kachenka, you ready? Okay. So I'm going to do 3, 2, 1. And when after 1, we all step out of the screen and we only get back to the screen when I do again 3, 2, 1. And in 0, we get back to the screen. Are you all ready? Okay, 3, 2, 1, go! 3, 2, 1, come! Okay, so for example, I created now an experiment in order to wake us up a bit. Because we're talking a lot. Well, actually, I'm talking a lot. I'm talking a lot, and there is a lot of mental stuff. So I think some movement was needed. So I created a very short experience in order to get something out of it. And this is actually something I wanted to get, like a bit of movement, but sometimes you are coming without knowing what the structure will bring. You are creating structure so you will all learn together. Some of you know this from my cacao ceremonies. You remember in the cacao ceremonies, many times I say, nobody's holding the space. Yeah, we're going to have a cacao ceremony and we're all going to discover what will happen. This is an example for an experiential wisdom. Yeah, this is clear? So we're going to learn how to do that. Then we go deeper, and this is phase B of the course. And in some ways, it's moving from a facilitator into a medicine man, or moving from a facilitator into a space holder, which is different hats. So holding space, this is the first topic. And what it means to be the eye within the storm. Yeah, so a good example, I don't know if anybody of you experienced this with me. Any of you were with me when the police barged into my workshop in Warsaw? Anna, you were with me? No? Okay, I had a weekend workshop in Warsaw that Jacek, some guy that has a center in Poland, organized for me. And they didn't organize it well because it was in an apartment building. So in the middle of the workshop, the owner of the apartment ran inside the room while everybody is in rebirthing with blindfolds and started to shout and actually became very, very violent. And and luckily, and I'm really saying luckily, because maybe if this would happen to me 2 years before, I wouldn't know how to manage. But when it happened, Ola, which was my assistant, and Freya, which was also my assistant back then, and they supported me, they actually pushed the guy outside while I closed the door and slowly integrated everybody in order to finish the breath. He called the police. I could send everybody out for a lunch break, telling them that in the lunch break, we will send them the new location. And when the police came, they were already out in the lunch break. And the police actually met me. And they asked me, we want to know what you did and why there was so much noise and why are you making problems to the neighbors? You have to tell us what you did. And then I told them, well, I did like this. And they started to laugh. And because I could actually stay relaxed in that experience, it really supported the flow and nothing actually happened. The cops just they tell me that I can go and we continue the workshop in another place. But this is one example. Another example is when a trauma comes to your field. 3 months ago, I was in a workshop that we didn't expect it to come. And one woman said that her 4-year-old daughter was raped by her kindergartner. And she took the microphone and she started to share about it. And it took her about 10 minutes. This is not something you can stop as a space holder. You cannot say to a mother that is sharing this, sorry, you can't continue to share. So this is something that you have to deal with. And the challenge was that after she finished and everybody were devastated and all of their emotional body were fully activated, another woman said, I have to share something before we even had a moment to create something in the space. And she shared about her mother that were shot to death in front of her eyes when she was 7 years old. And maybe you can imagine what happened to the space after these two sharings. And the only thing that can save you is if you manage to hold the space. To hold the space for yourself and to hold the space for everyone else that maybe cannot hold the space anymore because the pain is too much. And then you need, of course, to create a path that will allow them to shake whatever they need to move so they can give space to the pain, but also find a path of how to resource themselves so they can handle it. Yeah? This is clear? Okay, great. And by the way, these kind of things will happen to you. If you're walking in a transformational space, you will meet trauma, you will meet surprises, especially in shamanic fields. These things happen. Another thing we learn in Phase B is how do we build a workshop? How do we do framing? How we create an experience and how we create integration? And then we also going to learn different models of creating workshops like EPR or anyway, I'm not going to go into that now, but we're going to learn different models of how to create workshops. And this gives you a really good base when you want to create your workshop. In Phase B, we're going to learn about transformation. So there is 7 different paths of transformation that we're going to learn. I'm not going to go into all of them now because it's long and this we will learn in the year. But let's say one of them is missing experience, for example. You know what I mean when I say a missing experience? Yeah? Everybody? No, okay. So missing experience, so just imagine that I want to keep it short. Just imagine that this dramatic personality that I talked about. What is her missing experience? Just turn on your volume so we see.
Being met.
Yeah, being met.
Being seen.
Yeah, being seen. Yeah, both. Being seen and being met. But yeah, the first step, is, of course, is being seen. So if you create an experience for her that she is seen, you are giving her the missing experience. Yeah. And this will create transformation. Yeah. So this is an example for a path of transformation. And we're going to learn 7 different ways that you can create transformation in a field. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Okay, great. Breath. Okay. Integration. So one of the things we're going to discover together is that integration is at least as important as transformation. And we're going to learn how different ways that we can create integration. Some of them, of course, you know from the workshop you've been, like sharing, like guided meditation, like grounding touch. There is many ways of integration that you already know and experienced. And we're going to learn when we need time to integrate. What is the right time that we want to create integration? The next one, which is one of my favorites, Tomek is one of your favorites as well, how the music can become the leader. So how we can actually use the music. To those of you that have been with me in Shamanic Mysteries, you saw it in this training. That sometimes I say, okay, we go into water, and I just put 1 hour of water music in different waves, and then a lot of things happen in the space. So we're actually going to have an expert that is called Ori Bankleter. He's coming from Israel, and he's a guy I learned a lot from. He's a DJ. He doesn't talk, but he will teach you how to create, with music, a transformational space. And yeah, and this is one of my favorites. I actually use it a lot. And if you know how to use music in the right way, yeah, you can really play so much with different frequencies and create different experiences. Monica, you're going?
Yes, I have an online session starting very soon, so I didn't want to interrupt you, but in the same time, say bye.
Bye, love. Thank you.
See you. Again, very, very, very soon.
Great. We're actually going to finish also, I'm telling to all of you in 10 minutes because I need to be a daddy. So maybe I will not manage to go through everything now. Another thing that we're going to go through, will be also the practical thing on becoming a facilitator, which is working with marketing and with registration. And actually how you can use marketing as a way to share your light and not something that you have to do in order to share your light. And this is a bit changing and repatterning some paths to some of us. Because some of us just hear the word marketing and we contract. Instead of hearing the word marketing and say, wow, this is an amazing way that I can actually touch people and already start the path with them. Okay, I'm just going to go now through other topics. I'm not going to open them now because I want to close soon. The last phase, this is actually the ceremonial phase. Sorry, not the second phase. And in this phase, we're going to go into group therapy, into trauma work and resourcing, into group dynamics. We're going to go into a ceremony and what is the difference between a ceremony and a workshop and how we create a ceremonial space. We're going to learn constellation. And this is something we're going to learn with Noga, which is a great teacher that is going to come and teach us family constellation. She's a master in that and very inspiring to see her work and to learn from her. And a constellation space is a shamanic space. It's just a different name, but it's the same. We're going to learn how to work with resistance. So what are you going to do now if there is someone that is rebellion? You know, you have a rebel now inside your workshop room. Somebody is not doing what you want. How are you going to work with that? So we're going to learn about that, working with resistance. And we're going to have practicum. Practicum means that each of you is actually going to come and give a workshop, each and every one of you. And then on this workshop, you will receive dark feedback and guidance on what you need to change in order to share more light, and also what are your superpowers and when you need to use them. Now I'm just leaving us 5 minutes, so open your mics, everyone. And I'm just giving us 5 minutes that if we want to say something, maybe we take another breath before. Yeah, it was a bit long. I apologize.
When you say that each of us is going to give a workshop, you mean like, I don't know, 1 hour workshop, something like that? Because it's
No,
not
half an hour.
Half an hour. Half an hour. Okay, so pressure is on. Okay.
Not only that pressure is on, you're going to give a workshop not on a topic that you choose.
On what?
You are not choosing the topic of your workshop.
Ah, okay.
In this year, I'm going to see what is your shadow and which place you do not visit. And that place is what you will need to teach us.
Okay.
So let's say if I see a woman that is petrified of sexuality, I gave her here now to teach about a workshop about the wild woman. Or if I saw someone that is obsessed about fear and is always afraid to hurt somebody, I gave them to teach a workshop about what is beyond fear. So I'm actually choosing the topics by where you have treasures and gold nuggets that you don't even know. Okay. Because the place that you're most afraid of is where part of your superpowers is. The reason that you hid it so much is because society couldn't accept it. But actually, this is part of your power.
So it will be more, it will be, I understand from what you were saying, that it will be partly mental, but highly experiential also.
Yeah, it will have both. I will have framing on each topic and making sure that in your mind you realize what is it, how we create it, and why we're doing it, and then we're going to dive into experience. Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question. You said that we're gonna have a Zooms monthly, right?
We're going to have webinars between, yeah.
But webinars will be more for a group kind of process, or like sharing, or will there be other information given?
There will be some of them that will just be to practice, and some of them will be with information, yeah.
Mhm. Okay.
Agata, you wanted to say something else?
I wanted to ask about involvement of these other teachers. So are they going to, like, for example, are they coming each for each module, or are they coming all in one module?
So each of them is coming in one model.
Okay.
I am in all the models,
Mm-hmm.
and usually the first 3 days are going to be with me, and then there will be another 3 days with one of the other facilitators.
Okay.
And the reason I chose these facilitators, well, not all of them are facilitators, 3 facilitators and 1 DJ. And the reason I chose them is because they have a gift that I cannot give you in the same way. And this is why I chose them.
Okay, thank you.
Can you tell us what gift we get from the Or and Ohad?
Sure. So Ohad, one of the big gifts will be, it's not a gift that I don't have as well, but he has a different way to bring it. Ohad is going to touch about the eye in the storm. So when you have chaotic streams in the space, how can you still hold the space? And is going to touch about framing. How can you create a story about something you want to teach? In some ways, how you can create a mental transmission that is very valuable and penetrative. And Or is going to touch about, it's called quantum listening. And it's about how you can listen to different currents in the space. It's something that he wrote a book about, actually a good book. And also about his way of creating a learning experience. Noga is going to touch two things. One is family constellation, and the second one is focusing. And Ori Bankleter is going to touch music, the medicine of music, to answer your questions about music, to teach you how to make a playlist, and to teach you how you can read the space and understand how you channel the next song that wants to come. Yeah. This is, of course, very big. They have 3 days. They're going to, they have a lot to give, but this is just the headlines.
Are we going to have any kind of homework?
Yeah.
You will ask us to use some tools in our daily life.
Yeah.
Also, like a specific, let's say, written homework also, or not?
Yeah, you're gonna have both. It's not a homework, because we are not in school, thanks to God, but you're going to have things that you need to practice. You're going to have a workshop that you need to give outside of the course and get certain amount of feedbacks in bullets on what to improve and what is beautiful, or what is your magic. And anyway, I'm going to guide you on how to do it, but yeah, you're going to have a few practices that you need also to do at home, yeah. And you're also going to have a group that you're going to evolve with. We're going to shamanically choose the groups in the start, and you will have your own pod for this duration of 8 months that you're going to do things with this pod, yeah. 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 Tomek?
I just wanted to express gratitude and appreciation for this invitation.
Yay, beautiful. Thank you, brother.
And will there be any more of these talks you do on this teacher training, or is this the only one?
No, this is the only one.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, and I'm telling all of you, I can also have a private talk with you. Like if you need, you know, if you want to go through something or you want to do this, look, this is a 1-year journey, and I'm super, I'm super keen on actually knowing all of you in a very deep way. So, so if there is something specific that you want to ask about the course or you want me to look at, I want you to talk with me about it. Anyway, I'm going to have a private session with actually all the participants in this course.
And how many participants do you think the course will have?
I don't know. At the moment, I don't know. How many are we at this moment, Anna?
Around 15.
Mm-hmm.
In Israel, we have
something like that.
In Israel, we have we had now 24, the course that just finished, and it was super beautiful. I'm guessing that I'm not going to have more than maximum amount of participants will be 25. I'm not going to have more than that. And assistance depends on the amount of participants. I want 1 assistant on every 5 participants. This is the ratio I need.
And is this also the frame to elaborate on the role of the assistant a little bit more?
No, no. I'm going to have a talk with only the assistants. We're going to have our own date, and then we will talk more about that. Yeah.
One more question. Like looking at the schedule of the week, it takes you from 9 to 2, and then from 6 to 8 for the first.
From 4. It's on the Shachar's website. There is a mistake.
Oh, I didn't fix that mistake. Sorry.
You didn't.
Okay.
So it's only 2 hour break. 2 hours break.
Yeah, Anna told me to fix that mistake, and I forgot. Anna, can you remind me again on WhatsApp?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. So it's a bit more intensive than it looks like, but okay, good.
There is 2 hours break of lunch, and then that's it. And then at night, I want actually the people to sleep together. I want the people to get Airbnbs, not all of them, but to have people from the course, because actually I want to create as much relationships and as much connection between all of us. Kachenka, you're smiling. That's beautiful.
Yeah, I heard that sentence. I want you to all sleep together.
Okay, beloveds, I'm going to support my wife by being a father. And yeah, thank you very much. And,
you can contact me, and you can Shachar will send you my number, so you can for all information and contact you can contact me.
No, so maybe send it now, Anna. Maybe send it now on the chat.
Okay.
Just write the chat to everyone, and then everyone can take your number.
Shachar, I have a question.
Yeah?
I wanted to know what is if we have a plan B, if there is gonna be a lockdown in Poland or Israel, if the COVID-19 situation is gonna continue till August.
Well, if we will have again a lockdown and we can't go, so there is no course. But I'm going to do everything I can that this course will happen. And if it will happen just on 1 week of the course, then we will create another week after. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Much love to you all. Bye.
Bye. I send you the data, guys, on the chat.
Okay, I'm closing the meeting.
Bye. We don't need you anymore.
Bye bye.
Bye.